Hey everybody, it's Alex Ritz, Certified Professional Dog Trainer, and in this video we're going to talk a little bit about what you can do if you feel like your puppy is peeing every 5 minutes. So first off, it's important that we know how often puppies typically have to go to the bathroom so we can know if it's abnormal or not, right? The average puppy can hold their bladder for the amount of months they are old, +1 in hours. So what that looks like is a 2-month-old puppy can hold their bladder for 2 to 3 hours. A 5-month-old puppy can hold their bladder for 5 to 6 hours. And again, these are just averages. There are puppies that'll be able to go shorter or longer depending on their situation. Smaller dogs having to go more frequently, dogs that are having medical problems having to go more frequently, and that kind of stuff. But it's a good baseline to start. This is still kind of an average throughout the day though. So for example, when Windy was a 10-week-old puppy, he was able to sleep through the night pretty well. We would usually go out somewhere between 10 p.m. and midnight for our last potty break and are usually up at 6 or 7 in the morning. So about 6 to 7 hours or so depending on the night, and typically he did not wake me up to have to go to the bathroom. There were no accidents in the crate in the morning, and we would be able to go overnight. However, we were not able to do that at all times throughout the day. Especially if a puppy's active and running around, they're kind of getting stuff moving. If they've been drinking their water, that should be available to them throughout the day. If they've been playing, they're tired, they just woke up from a nap. Those are all different factors that can mean your puppy might have to go to the bathroom sooner than that, to be expected mark. And that means that when your puppy's in the crate, when they're resting, that's a good rule of thumb to go by. So if you're working an 8-hour day, you need someone to let your puppy out, every 2 to 3 hours when they're super little, and eventually you'll be able to get where, you can come home on your lunch break and that'll be enough time. But when your puppy's out and about, they can end up having accidents more frequently and needing to go out more frequently. When I first get a puppy, I like to set a timer for either 30 to 60 minutes, depending on the puppy, and make sure that every 30 to 60 minutes, so once or twice an hour, we are going outside and using the bathroom, or at least, going to the potty spot in case they have to go to the bathroom. That helps me make sure that I get my puppy out frequently enough to hopefully avoid having accidents inside. If I see my puppy is looking like they're going to have an accident, then I'm going to scoop them up, run them out, go to the potty spot again. Even if I catch them in the middle of having an accident, we're still going to go, oh, let's go outside, and scoop them up. We want that sense of urgency for going outside. And again, if the puppy's playing, if they've just woken up from a nap, those are all times when it's a good idea to make that extra potty trip. So if my puppy is just sleeping, resting, kind of hanging out, I'm not going to necessarily at 30 minutes run them outside. But as soon as they're up from their nap, or if they're running around and playing, maybe 5 to 10 minutes into their play session, we're going to go outside and take a pee break. We want to make sure that we're getting them out in plenty of time to have lots of opportunities to go outside. Your puppy, well, it seems like they're going to pee often, shouldn't be going literally every 5 minutes. If it's an adult dog and it's maybe marking on some stuff, that's different than actually urinating. And most puppies are not going to be marking. That comes along later when they're kind of the teenage puppy phase. So make sure that you're kind of noting how often your puppy is truly having accidents. I like to kind of just jot it down throughout the day and say, okay, we had an accident inside here, accident outside here. I also keep track of when they're in their crate or in their pen and resting. And then that lets me know not only are we moving in an upward trend, we're having less and less accidents, but it also lets me know if there's a particular point that's a problem in my training plan. So if they're seeing, we always have accidents at lunchtime, then I know I need to change something about what I'm doing around lunchtime. So making sure that we're tracking that can be really, really helpful too. And then it also, again, lets us know how often is our puppy actually going to the bathroom and what context is that happening in. Because if you're having a puppy that is frequently stopping and squatting to pee in little spots all over the place, peeing in very small amounts, so it seems very frequent. Maybe they're squatting and nothing's actually coming out, or just a couple drops. Those are all signs that your puppy actually has a urinary tract infection. And it's definitely a case when we're having potty training problems like that we want to get the puppy seen by a veterinarian to rule out medical concerns before we try and work more on the behavior side of stuff. You know, we don't want the puppy to be suffering with a painful UTI when we could get antibiotics to work that, and then make sure that we have our potty training bases covered. So your puppy shouldn't be going every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes. It should be much more like, you know, able to go a couple hours at rest. When they're active and playing, it might be, you know, 10 minutes apart a couple times, or 30 minutes apart a couple times, but it shouldn't be a regular theme, you know, throughout the night, when they're resting, that kind of stuff. So just because your puppy, you know, got up from a nap, went potty, and then came in, ate, drank, and played, and then had to go to the bathroom 10-15 minutes later, that doesn't mean that your puppy is having a potty training problem. That just means we need to get our puppy out sooner after they eat and play in that context. But if your puppy was to be going to the bathroom truly every 15 minutes, every 10 minutes, every 30 minutes, all throughout the day, rest, you know, not included, everything, then we definitely want to either, for one, make sure we don't have medical problems going on, and two, make sure that we have a good potty training plan. So we shouldn't be just finding accidents around. We should typically, if our puppy's out and about, we're going to be watching them, we're going to be monitoring them, and that way we can scoop the puppy up, run the puppy out, you know, first signs that they're going to have an accident in the house, to get that sense of urgency that we want to go outside, and make sure that we're following through with cleaning with an enzymatic cleaner, and all the good potty training, you know, stuff that we've talked about before. So puppies going to the bathroom frequently is a very valid thing. They don't have full bladder control till about 6 months, but we should see fewer and fewer accidents with age, to almost none by the time they're 6 months old, if you've had a really good potty training plan and been following through, and if your puppy doesn't have medical concerns. So if your puppy is going to the bathroom truly every 5 to 10 minutes and it's pretty consistent, definitely time to get in for a vet check. For more tips and tricks, you can check us out at houndgames.com, and don't forget to hit subscribe. Thanks!